Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the cave. So we're going to want to rush here. It'll be interesting to see if the monk has this halo of being the true master around his head for the rest of the game, or whether he loses it in this section. We've just got to rush through the island section, and then we need to rush through the end of the game. Again, it would be a lot better if we had only seen this island section on the third run through, because this would have been a funny twist to do a direct reference to Monkey Island.
Ooh, I've got one. 99 bottles of rum on the wall.
But by the second time you'd seen it, it really doesn't mean anything at all. I guess the fact that there are so many sharks in the background does imply the reason why the Herman couldn't just swim to the other side.
Shut up. After years on this blasted island, I can finally leave.
Finally leave.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
It is
I'm going to go collect my
slightly
stuff and
interesting
get my
that
beloved
he's
dog
been
Spanky so we can skedaddle.
on this island for years, where it seems like everybody else has not really been in the story for that long, or they don't think they've been in the cave that long.
No, they're not.
You know, it probably isn't the most efficient way to play the game to push those characters in that direction. Let's see.
When you get that boat of yours to the other side of the island, give me a shout. I'll join you for the big rescue.
A dream unfulfilled. So apparently the monk wasn't given a reward or a graduation.
3 people. Might I suggest to our 3 friends that they move the boat across the island very quietly?
Quietly.
Shut up.
I'm having a hard time grabbing the ledge there. There's a lot of birds flying in the background, which is weird because birds don't play any part in this game at all. It's just an added animation that somebody did. Alright. So I'm gonna come over here and grab this one and bring the box over. I think for our third playthrough, it's only fair if we end up back at the souvenir shop. Yeah, I don't know why that guy didn't fast travel also. I think I want to end up in the souvenir shop with nothing in my inventory. No character holding on to anything at all. And we'll see how that plays out. Let's go ahead and place that. We'll go ahead and collect these. But they don't give you anything. It's not like you get an experience or... come on. How do I pick up the L-shaped pipe? I might need to use the monk to get that item. Yeah, I don't know what they could really give you though. This isn't a game that would really benefit from the characters having experience or getting extra lives or anything along that line. next character to run is this guy. The box of crackers. And again, we're just going to try and do this as fast and efficiently as possible. Which that was almost certainly not fast or efficient. Alright, yeah. We need the pirate flag. Ability. So
King takes F7.
let's put that there. Our guy has lost his master
Knight takes D5.
element, and the bird is just repeating lines of dialogue that he's hearing from the chess piece.
Makes it seem shorter.
Chess playing.
And it's easier for Spanky.
Alright.
Whoopee! I'm rescued.
Rescued.
Shut up.
Shut up.
There we go. So push this, and this is going to take way longer than it should. Push this to about right there. Start with, and then push this almost completely next to it. And then we'll grab this femur and we'll pull this one. And we'll stick it on the edge there. His bare feet slapping on the floor is a bit of a distracting extra thing that's not really needed. Notice that the barrel there just rolled right through the hillbilly. Alright, we pulled that off. We're still trying to see if there were any indicator of the game quick saving, because that's kind of a requirement in games on consoles. It would be really weird if that wasn't something. I'm pushing right down into the lower left hand section. I'm just hitting the wrong button apparently. They want me to hit the B button. That doesn't make any sense. I've been hitting the X button to pick up things the whole time. B has always been put down. Well, I guess B works and X works. So, that's weird. Let's drop that there. We're going to have to just do some backtracking. Obviously. We'll get this part connected, which you have to press X then. Yeah, the button layout in this game is still weird. It's not the buttons I expected. It doesn't feel realistic. It doesn't feel like what I want to happen happens when I press a button. Right. So, where are the crackers? That's the question. Probably should have put down the femur further to the left. And then, yeah, the box of crackers are just on the side there. So we need to get the box of crackers and the femur on the other side of the map, and then potentially have the knight push the boat further to the right. It's more frustrating than it should be for your third attempt to still take this long. It kind of sucks.
I love my dog.
Let's
Knight to C6.
go ahead
On
and
the rum. 3-hour
get
tour.
the bone. Maybe the monk can help out with the other thing. Right, so
Who's a good dog? Polly wants a bratwurst.
we're gonna lock the monk into being the guy with the parrot. And
Nice move.
no, we're gonna lock the hillbilly into the guy with the parrot, and then we'll have to do everything else with the knight and the monk. Whatever's left to be done, which there is a decent amount.
When I get back to civilization, I'll be a chess wizard. After years on this blasted island, I can finally leave.
Finally leave.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Whoopee! I'm rescued.
Rescued.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I guess it won't work. I feel like this would have worked before and it didn't, but it's not working now, so whatever.
When you get that boat of yours to the other side of the island, give me a shout, and I'll join you for the big rescue.
Big rescue.
Shut up.
Shut up.
So it doesn't seem like you can do that part of the puzzle until you've gotten the boat further along. I don't know why it's particularly limiting you in that path, but whatever. Unless I've missed something, we've kind of done it all. I just need to push this boat over this way, and then hop in. There we go. Hey, I don't even need to do that. Where's the straight pipe? Come on. You've got it. And we were going to try and leave the island with empty hands. And so what we want to do is have this guy in the boat. This guy turn the valve. And then we push this and we should trigger a cutscene.
Whoopee! I'm finally getting off this island. I think I've got everything I need.
Okay.
I knew he was going to be trouble. Right here in Island City. Trouble with a capital T, which rhymes with P, which stands for... Hermit. Okay, that didn't quite work. But he's still trouble. Trouble with a capital H, which stands for hermit. There, much better.
We even walked right across. We didn't even have to jump that time. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this and get rid of him.
My dog! You wait here and I'll be back in a flash. Don't leave without us. Spanky gets his own seat, so someone will need to swim.
And the monk just automatically comes right behind us, so we can jump in that and be done with this section.
I'm no lawyer, but maritime law clearly allows for the abandonment of annoying hermits.
So we're
And
getting
really,
into the
the
last section
stranding
with
of a
nothing in
lone
our
hermit
hands,
pales in comparison to what we've
and
seen
we're
from
going
these
for
things
the
so
good
far.
ending of the monk,
I do wonder
even
if
though we
any
missed
lessons
the
have been learned this
very
evening.
first
Maybe by
uh,
you and
cave
me,
painting for the
but
monk.
I fear not by them.
And
Well, we
we're
shall
going to get the
see
bad
soon enough.
endings for the knight and the hillbilly. So if we were going to do this another time, we would then play as the time traveler, the scientist, and the twins and get the bad endings on that. And then we would have to play another time as the hillbilly, as the monk, to get the bad ending for the hillbilly. So it's just not worth it.
Well, you took long enough. I was going to send out the search party, but they're still looking for the last group. You didn't happen to run into an annoying clown, did you? That doesn't matter. We just got a new shipment of trinkets that should satisfy your every desire. But I can't give them to you without suitable replacements.
It's kind of funny that the stuffed bear is not gold when everything else is
I'm
golden.
sure you'll find some treasures worthy of the cave's gift shop.
It kind of implies that taking the stuffed bear is a different ending than not taking the stuffed bear. Yeah, I don't see any quick save. If it's showing up, it is showing up really, really quick. Like, sure, I have an SSD, and I'm way overpowering on a modern computer what this game in 2013 was expecting. But I usually would have seen an icon. And see, this has been rebuilt, and the thing we needed is gone. So no going back. And there's really no reason why they would have let you go back and get the one thing you missed. Because then that basically they would have had to let you go back and get all of the things you missed and just play the game a second time through, which wouldn't have been a bad idea. Like, this concept of things being shut down and under construction and being remodeled would have been great to run through the levels on the second playthrough in that way, instead of having to do the repeated sections a second and third time. Yeah. This game really puts you in a weird position where I can only kind of justify playing it once, and then it is a steadily declining reward that you get for playing it the second and third time. And past the third time, there's practically no reward at all for playing it, or very little reward. And that's just bad game design. You really can't name, well, I can't, at least off the top of my head, I can't name anybody that has ever tried to make you play the same game multiple times through. You might have something like Nier Automata that has different game over scenarios that might make you play it through several times, but it's vastly different every time you play it through. In Nier Automata's example. Or you have visual novels. I suppose visual novels do sometimes make you play them over and over again, but the good ones have rewind systems and checkpoint systems, so you're not wasting your life away. This game just wanted you to waste your life away. You know what it is. They were contracted with Sega, and whenever a developer contracts with a publisher, they have to meet certain number requirements that they can put in a contract. And almost certainly what they put as what Double Fine's contract said is that they had to give Sega a game that was over 5 hours. And so to ensure that nobody could speedrun the game, or no QA assistants could actually speedrun the game and feel like it was less than 5 hours of experience, they've added an incredibly large amount of busy work to waste the player's time while walking from point A to point B. Do we want to get the bads before the goods? I mean, we might as well.
Oh, that is very nice. Taking the thing someone else desires most was a stroke of genius. You earned it.
So he's going with the teddy bear. And what I suspect is going to happen here is there will be a cave-in and he'll fall to his death. And he won't be rewarded. If not, I mean, you're not really rewarded anyways. A burning rage of rejection. Blinding rampage of revenge. So he just went all over the United States and burnt down carnivals. Alright. And that fast traveled us nicely.
Splendid. That will look nice on the shelf. Hey, it's not stealing if they didn't see you take it. Am I right? Here you go.
So that was the bad ending. It didn't cave in on you. It just faded to black. But you don't really get an ending either way, because even if you get the good ending, you still are kind of stuck at the campfire, forever potentially doomed to go through the cave over and over again. It's almost like you're maybe reincarnating or reliving your final memories over and over again, and maybe you're learning a little bit, but not enough to really move you to like a heaven or hell. You're just stuck in the purgatory forever. So the bad ending for the paladin is in over his head, death of a kingdom, which that's almost exactly the story we saw for both of those characters in the puzzles. So you're not getting any real extra content other than 2 pieces of art.
Fabulous replacement trinket. Oh, that will do just fine. Taking the thing someone else desires most was a stroke of genius. You earned it.
Yeah. It doesn't really feel...
is strongly discouraged. Are you sure that's what you want?
It really doesn't feel like you're really doing that much goodness by just returning the item after you just stole items.
Very well. Just because it's you,
it would have been better if you had been able to just not steal the items in the first place. So here's the good ending of this. And since this guy won't be holding any item, hopefully he won't glitch out like we've seen in the other 2 endings. It always seems like the third character kind of glitches out and I have to swap to another character. Newfound inner peace, good for him, and a righteous path regained was his good ending, which is pretty much what you would have had to expect would have been the good ending for a monk. So up we climb, and hopefully it doesn't glitch, and once we get up here we'll be able to, oops, I can't switch to the other characters because they didn't make it out. So you have to jump the ledge, I guess.
As we look back on the adventure we had this evening, it
The
was
other
not a
two
total
disappeared.
loss. Some realized the thing they desire most is also the thing to fear the most. Others could not escape the destructive grasp of glory.
So it's a slightly
greed,
different
or
ending if you
vanity.
get a mixed
What is
ending.
your object of desire? What grasp does it have on your future? Have patience. You will be down here soon enough, and we'll see what you're capable of. There is no hiding from the cave.
Yeah. They really failed to make the cave feel like a daunting enough experience. It's a little too cartoony and kid friendly. So that you probably would get 3 sentences different if you had gotten all 3 bad endings. Otherwise, you might get something different if you get 2 bad endings. Well, 2 good endings and 1 bad ending. But it's totally not worth it for those little lines of dialogue. And you get something slightly different. There.
Welcome. Don't let...
Alright. Let's see. Save and exit. Yes. And I guess I'll have to relaunch the game to get to the extras. I got 16 of 22 achievements. And the things required to get those other achievements are too complicated. Come on. Recording software kick in? Interesting. It did not kick in when it was showing the logos. So let's see what the extras are. The cave paintings, which we can see now split up and downward. So you can check them that way. And we got everything on the good path for each of the characters, with the exception of the very first screen, which is not anything. There's a big problem with characterization here, though. I would never want to play a story with just a monk. He's a boring character. I would never want to play a story with just a hillbilly. He's not an interesting enough character as he's been written. Wouldn't want to play a story with just a scientist or the time traveler. The knight is fine because almost any fantasy game you could have a knight and that would be fine. I would potentially play a game with the twins though, as creepy Victorian era twins with kinetic powers or psychic powers. That is something different, and you can even tell by their name. They're just called the twins, where everything else is a very generic stereotype archetype of a character. You could have an adventure game with the adventurer. I guess I should applaud the diversity in the game. It felt very alright that the adventurer was a female, that the monk is reasonably going to be a male, because they all are. The hillbilly could have been a female. The scientist is a female, and there's nothing weird about this. That the time traveler is seemingly a female too, if she isn't a robot. I would have thought there was more extras though. And there's no like real trick to skip here. The characters are in a different order. That's weird.
Oh, the adventurer. Moving along.
So
I guess we're done. The twins. Oh, impatient, aren't we?
So if you move
Okay,
around,
next on the list. Slow down.
I can just
Okay, next
irritate
up,
him.
Moving along. The twins. They just
So-
want to go outside and play. What could be more innocent
The
than
characters are in a different order. I guess they are sometimes randomized. It didn't feel like they were randomized though the first 3 times we played through. Maybe they just want to randomize them on the 4th or 5th or 6th playthrough. You can see that even getting the bad ending for the Hillbilly or the Paladin does not eliminate them from play. So it really does feel like whether you get the good ending or the bad ending, you still are just in this purgatory forever, going through the events over and over again. And that's kind of where the game feels too. It would have been a lot nicer if there was only 6 characters. It would have been nicer if there were 9 characters and there was an A story, a B story, and a C story, so we didn't see any repeated content other than like the first tutorial puzzle, which you don't even really need to repeat that, because the first tutorial puzzle in the A story would also train the player how to play the game for the B story and the C story. Just different design, different concepts around how the level design and the game flow works would have majorly improved this. And the Maniac Mansion-esque-ness of this, I guess, maybe hurt the game quite a bit because of that, where they wanted you to be able to beat the game with any combination of 3 characters, and that's just not a good starting point for a game. There's a reason you really haven't seen that in any other games in decades since Maniac Mansion has come out. It would have been much better to just tell stories of each of these characters and have one long experience. That would have been fine. You would have done 2, maybe 3 puzzles for a couple of characters, then you would have done one multi-character puzzle like the miner, then 2 more puzzles, then the zoo, then 2 more puzzles, then the island, and you would have been fine. But having to do the zoo and the island and the miner 3 times is wasting your time. And I've said that before, and it frankly is going to get to the point where I'm wasting your time if I just overhash all the little things that are done here. It is a very pretty game, and that's probably to its fault also, because the budget should have probably been to tighten up and polish the puzzles some more. It's way too simplistic a game. And I can't imagine even wanting to like play this on like a mobile game where you had a daily commute. You still really wouldn't want to play this more than 3 times. And yet the game wants you to beat it 6 times minimum. And the achievements are crazy. But this was 2013, an era where achievements were crazy, so I'm not going to hold that against it by too much. Alright, well, that's going to be it for the series. I doubt I'll ever come back to this. Maybe in 10 years I'd come back and try to get all the bad endings, but I don't think it's really worth that. I'd have to follow a achievement walkthrough to try to get all the other achievements. There's still plenty of them that are really crazy and would require planning from the word go. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.